Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Good morning, Europe. Good evening, America. Or go to bed, America, I guess. Good afternoon, Korea. What's up? How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my god, my hair. Welcome. It's 8 a.m. for me right now. I have not been to sleep yet. My dog is sick, but thank you for joining me for day 9. Day 9. I've heard that before. I know that name. Of the BJ Destruction Team League. Today we have Team soO versus Team Classic. Should be a lot of fun. And it is the BJ Destruction Team League today, the $7,000 tournament, 8 million Korean won, sponsored by Africa and Onpung. My name is Grant. I'm here casting today on behalf of can't talk, Alpha X, providing the English cast. As I said, it's really early, so give me a minute to actually find my voice. I don't think I've spoken yet this morning. How are you all doing? Thank you for hanging out. I love you all. I don't have a co-caster today, so alongside me is Clarence, the very spooky spider. He doesn't talk very much, but he's a nice guy. If this is your first time joining, I will be casting from a feed. So we won't have any game sound or anything. This is a team league tournament where the players have picked their own teams. I'm really struggling to talk today. I do apologise, guys. Don't worry, Sushi, I've got it ready. We are going to take a quick look at where we have come from and where we are today. So let me find my overlays. Let me try and get this right. Boom. Oh man, I'm good. Okay, so this is BJ Destruction Season 2. Search. 2019. Okay, so this is where we are right now. Today we have Team Classic, currently the first place team, as you can see from my browser right here. Going up against Team soO. Team soO struggled, picked up a win in the first match of the season, hasn't won since. Team Classic on a tear, have yet to lose. Had some really, really good series so far, but pretty dominant. I think 4-2 in all of their matches, possibly. 3-0. Oh, the day 8 one is there. So Team Classic 4-2. Team Classic, and a 4-0. There we are. Team soO so far did pick up that win against Team Deer. Since then have struggled. Team Hero beat them 4-2. And then Team Maru beat them 4-2. Team Maru actually managed to lift themselves up on map score. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me figure out what I'm doing with my life. Oh yeah, that's me. Keep an eye on the stream. Guys, my name is Grant. I'm the English caster for this event. I'm casting here today on behalf of Alpha. This isn't an Alpha event, but the powers that be at Africa have granted us the honour of being able to cast this team league. It's been insane amounts of fun so far. I know it's a pretty unfortunate time for Europeans, maybe not some of you further Eastern Europeans, but for me in the UK, it's bloody early. My mic is a little low. I can fix that. Whee. There we go. That should be a little bit better now. 3 AM StarCraft, I love it, Droptimus. That's wicked. I also like that you have Optimus in your name. Or is it Dr. Optimus? All I'm saying is that Vince is the best. So, we are going to wait for the first game to start. While we wait, I'm going to talk a little bit about what Team Alpha have coming up. Team Alpha are not sponsoring this event in any way, we are just providing the cast, but we do have some wicked stuff coming up, and I'm going to show that for a minute. We do have the Alpha Pro Series, which is right here. There we go, look at that, show matches. We just had one, I believe it was a few days ago. We had Railgun versus Starkiller in a 5-4 win. Coming up, we do have Art versus Aquaron, that is later on today in about 10 hours. And then on Thursday, if I can do maths, we have soO versus TY. These are all best of 9 show matches. Provided by Alpha on this channel. They're going to be super, super, super good. And I'm going to take a minute to talk about how we're able to do them and speak about one of our sponsors. I'm going to speak very quickly about GameStop. GameStop, if you are in America, if you're in most of Europe, you will probably know are one of the biggest game retailers in the world. If you want the newest AAA titles or even some of those cool cards with some money, points on, check out GameStop, guys. GameStop recently have started a new program as well to dip their toes into esports. They're offering coaching for some of the most prominent teams and players in the world. If you're interested in League, if you're interested in Counter-Strike, no matter the game, GameStop have got your back. They'll be able to support you in growing with some of the best players in the world. So guys, please check out GameStop. Please support GameStop. Thank you to GameStop for providing events like the Alpha Pro Series, like the ones we have coming up, Aquaron and Art today, soO and I've already lost it now. soO and TY. I thought it was TY. I doubted myself. Coming up on Thursday, it's incredible content that we're able to put out, partly because of GameStop, so thank you guys, we love you. I am still waiting for map 1, it's not Doctor. Is my mic still too low, Sushi? Still too low? Because it is maxed. Which is interesting. I could move it closer maybe. It is just Droptimus. It's nice, man. I like it. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I am waiting for the first series to start. They are just going through the feed that I'm going to cast for. They're just going through all of their, interesting bits. It's always nice to see JYP. He won that caster showdown recently, right? Against the Brazilian or the Mexican one. Who was it? Can't remember his name. I can't remember, but yeah, JYP coming out of retirement, winning a little tournament. Really, really sick to see. Or a little show match, I think it was. I always liked that guy. I thought he was fantastic. Okay, I'm going to move my mic a little closer. I am speaking relatively quietly because it is, as I said, 8 AM and I have housemates that don't want to hear me chat shit about StarCraft. Probably not too interested. Let's see how we're getting on here. This should be good. That is good. That is good. Everything is looking bon. And we are getting into game 1, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do is set up my scenes, get some stuff going, get some music playing, and get into this feed. Here we go. So everything looking good so far. So first up we do have soO, the team captain, against soO, a ZVZ, something we've had very little of actually so far in this tournament. Both players are going to go for that hatch first. We're not getting any really early pool shenanigans or anything like that. Game starting off very standard in this first minute. It does look like my music may be slightly too loud. I'll turn it down a little bit. As I said, I'm casting from a feed. I'm not currently in the game, so I won't have game sounds. I do apologise for that. It's something we want to look at next season. This is day 9 of the BJ Destruction Team League. These players are the first ones out, so if you've just joined, you've not missed anything. This is all kill. So it's certainly looking to be very exciting. soO coming out very early. Actually has typically in this tournament saved himself as an ace. So interesting to see him wanting to come out early on Acropolis. Starting to learn the map names. Really, really proud of myself. Builds at the moment complete mirrors of one another. Nothing is spectacularly interesting. It is ZVZ. The first variation really will be gases and pulling out of gases at 100, or if one of the players stays in and goes for like quicker roach roaring or baneling nest, or if we see some Nye display. Got to see Bly do a lot of very, very odd builds yesterday. Very gas heavy builds. I'd expect maybe soO to be a little bit cheeky. soO's been absolutely unreal in this tournament so far. I think he has the best map score, but he hasn't played many Zergs. And soO certainly has a case for the best Zerg in the world. I know obviously there's a certain Finnish boy who's also fighting for that title, but soO on certain days of the week can definitely put up a good argument. He did win the Super Tournament recently, which was, well, recently I say. Time flies when you're having fun. But soO's certainly an absolutely incredible caliber of player. soO is going to look to add in, I'm guessing, the baneling nest. Okay, so both players going for a baneling nest. No earlier roach warrings, anything like that. We're not going to see any very, very quick roach pushes. We do see some Zergs take that quick free base and just use it for production, but gases looking pretty standard. Both players playing absolutely identically, I would go as far as to say. Overlords coming in just to scout out these lings. We'll see a couple of lings are here. Scout out the third. Ling fight will happen. Who will get the first hit? Ooh, they're dancing. Queen's going to come over. soO, bit of a party pooper, going to ruin all the fun. Lots of lings actually coming out right now for soO. Maybe looking to be the slightly more aggressive player. How many lings do we have on the map for soO? It does look like he also has a good amount. Actually up in army supply right now, so definitely up there. Has a couple of banelings coming out as well. They are scouted very quickly by soO. So soO knows he's playing against an almost identical build. soO chooses to throw down that roach warring quite quickly, whereas soO has gone for the quicker Evo chamber and may go for those +1 carapace upgrades. You see a lot of Zergs do that in these Ling Bane wars. Have to see if he does choose. No, he is going to go for the ranged weapon, so we will see the roach warring very, very now from soO. These banelings have proven to be an annoyance, certainly keeping soO on his toes. soO has the bigger force here right now. The reinforcements are coming in for soO and will be good. Oh, a decent baneling hit there. Does get 4 of soO's lings. soO is currently up in supply. He has that little bit more army supply. His production also really starting to take off. His lair is on the way. 9 roaches on the way for soO, and that is a very, very good amount. soO's going to be able to make a few as soon as this roach warren finishes, but not quite 9. soO does go in. He's not seeing too much right now. He will now get in and see a lot of those eggs producing, and obviously doesn't give away too much. He has 6 roaches of his own, and his +1 is going to be a lot quicker. There we go, now 9 roaches. So, oh, okay, 1 ling's trading for 1 baneling there. Very, very nice if you are soO to have that happen. This music is so epic. It makes me feel so hyped. Both players are sitting at very similar counts. soO does have that drone advantage, and he is down in army supply, but he will have defender's advantage. He will have queens as well. soO now looking to push in. Nothing but army units will be being produced right now for soO, I imagine. We can't see that production tab right now. But soO certainly knowing he has to defend. He does have a very, very stable economy. Up to 49 drones, very, very healthy. I really would like to see. He is down 4 roaches. There we go. You can see nothing but roaches and lings. +1 will be done as well for soO any second. And I think that puts soO in a great position. soO actually sitting at a bit of a supply block right now. The Ravagers are coming in, and there are a lot of Banelings, but as I previously mentioned, soO does have +1, and soO can certainly, with this defender's advantage, I think he has a good chance. The Ravager in the front may be slightly out of position. There are so many Banelings, Tasteless, coming in right now for soO. soO does have a supply advantage, decent splits as well. One of the Banelings, actually, for soO is trapped in the back. A couple of Banelings trapped in the back, not getting the connections. The Lings will now come in and chase off the Lings of soO. soO starting to plummet a little bit in supply, but now that Roach v Roach is happening straight up, soO is pushing through. He does have that +1. There is a small flank coming in right now for soO, and that's going to start to pick away at these queens, but the Roach count is dwindling for both of these players, actually. soO definitely manages to keep this back. Yeah, he loses a few queens, but this was a decent trade for him, and his upgrades are very good. That +1 was vital in that fight, managing to make that Roach trade so much better. He is now getting Roach speed. His lair is done, and I think soO's put himself in a really good position here against one of the best Zergs in the world. He's certainly got a very stable economy. He was up on drones for the vast majority of that. He doesn't have Ravagers himself yet. He is sticking purely to Roach Bane. And soO certainly isn't done by the looks of things with this aggression. It looks like he's going to try and pull some of these units away and maybe counter with a few Lings. You can see he has a decent Ling Flood force sitting in that northeast position. Now soO is moving back with these Ravagers. I think he is deciding to be a little bit more defensive and a little bit more macro orientated. soO continuing with that drone advantage is getting +2 ahead of soO's +1, so very large advantage, and soO throws down that Spire too. It looks like soO's putting himself in a really strong position here. His army is looking good, his upgrades are looking phenomenal. The Muters can do a decent amount if handled well, and if they can find that angle. Very useful counter-attacking units. The 4th base is quicker also for soO. You can see generally he is up in supply. He's at 5 workers, a few army units, and as I said before, drastically up in upgrades. We're not seeing any real tech variation right now coming from soO. He seems to be sticking a lot to Roaches, and that could end up working out for him if we see soO overcommit to Muters and maybe not have enough at home to deal with a push in that small window. If soO can find it, and if anyone can, it is soO. He can certainly punish that. This Overseer of soO does get in, it will see that Spire coming, so soO now knows exactly what he's playing against. We will see Spores probably very quickly. We see the Hydra Den immediately thrown down, so going to get those anti-air units to push back a lot of these Muters. The hatch now finishing for soO in this 4th location. Actually, not one at all started for soO, so soO knows he is behind. He knows he has to make something happen. I think we will see a decent round of Hydralisk. You can see both players are now at that 200 supply cap, so they can make units to the heart's content without worrying about overlords. 6 Muters, just sort of a standard amount to dash in and be very annoying between those bases, whilst the Roaches do the majority of the fighting. Coming out right now, and a lot of Lings for soO too. soO's kept a really good spread of units throughout this. He's certainly found some really nice angles. Now soO is going to look to try and run by. A lot of these Lings getting poked away. Actually a decent counter attack. We will see some workers start to fall. These guys didn't host for Game Hard, did they? So I can't see how many workers did go down there. I don't think it was very many. The Overlord's now starting to get cleared out, and that will give soO complete map control. soO is up. Still 6 drones. His upgrades are very good. His +2 will be done by now. His Baneling speed is just finishing. He has those 6 Muters, which can be annoying. Now, in a straight-up fight, the Hydralisks are very good. They provide a lot of DPS, especially if there's... Oh my god. No Ravagers, but this is a decent way to deal with them. We can see about 30 Banelings have just morphed in, and now soO is feeling it. He has Baneling speed, he has a huge Roach army. The Banelings are rolling in. They're not in the front though, these Roaches are looking to pick off the Banelings first. Now a huge concave is there from soO, so very nice play there. Ooh, really nice. Splitting off a few of these Banelings to try and create a decent flank. Oh my god, all the Banelings hit Banelings. soO so far taking a not so great fight, but all the Hydralisks are in the back. Oh my god, a lot of our army does disappear on the right hand side. The Muters also coming in now, starting to trade against the Roaches. Does look like soO's going to be able to hold. He didn't lose any workers either, so actually a really nice defense from soO. the banelings from soO, and that was an expensive investment, didn't get the hit they wanted. Now these mutas continue to be a vast annoyance from soO. He is losing queens, he is losing overlords, and soO still doesn't have his 4th base, so I certainly think he's got his work cut out for him. Still no production tab, so I can't, there we are. Can't see if there's any more upgrades. It doesn't look like it. It looks like soO is sitting on just +1 still, whereas +2 is finished for soO, and now he has a lot of these Ravagers too, which can be very, very devastating for this Roach Hydra army. If they can get a couple of good Corrosive Biles on top of the Hydras melt. They're such squishy light units. The 4th is thrown down for soO, but soO is in position ready to punish this. He doesn't have the most units here. He's actually got his army split right now. So soO's certainly not wanting to commit. The Biles do go down. Very nice micro there by soO. Doesn't take any unnecessary hits. We do have that counter army in the centre of soO's bases, and now both players have split their armies. soO looks like he's split very, very well. soO is going to look to run by and pick off all of these reinforcing units, which is very, very nice. He possibly will lose the units that he has now. soO being pushed back also in this position. soO's actually making some really nice moves right now. Very nice concave at the top of the ramp here. A lot of these Ravagers will start to go down. soO and soO still completely even in supply. But soO's pressure once again is picked off and cleaned up. Now there are 11 more mutas I think I just saw in the production tab, so soO is going to start to transition and start to be a little bit more annoying. There aren't that many Hydralisks left in this composition. It looks like maybe 6 or 8. So these mutas can certainly tear apart this Roach Ravager army. You can see a few of them here actually out of position. We'll go in and scout this. See that there's not many Hydras, and now they will take the fight. Now the Biles do go down immediately. The mutas obviously very, very fast, very quick acceleration, can dash out of those Biles infinitely, but they don't do that much DPS straight up against these armoured units like the Roaches. The mutas are starting to pick off a lot of these Ravagers. You can see Ravagers falling down very, very quickly. Again, those slightly squishier units, but soO is pushing. soO doesn't have the most army supply, but he is picking off a lot of workers right now. It does look like soO's going to be able to hold this off eventually and keep this base alive, and soO is going to lose a lot. Actually, soO's just thrown away 50 supply. It looked like the fight was going very well from him, but this amount of mutas do so much damage. They were able to trade pretty well and pretty quickly against the Roaches, and GG, yes, soO takes game 1, defeats the captain, and Team Classic go up 1-0. And now we go back to my face. Good game so fast. Stream lagging a bit? I'm not dropping any frames, Droptimus. Sometimes a Freaker can do that a little bit, just give it a refresh. I don't think it's me. I will pause my own stream just in case. So a really, really clean game there from the captain. I'm going to see if anyone else is getting any lag. We will take a quick look at the bracket. So you guys can see, we'll take a quick look at the players so we can see who could be coming up next for Team soO. This button right here. So Team soO. Oh wait, we actually have the team names now. Huh. Oh no, wait, that's for last season. So, soO is now out. We have Patience, Bunny, and Keen. So we won't be seeing another ZVZ. One of these players will be going up against soO. soO continuing his streak as probably the best player in this tournament so far when it comes to map score. Cool. I think it could be your internet dropped to us because other people watching seem to have it no problem. So we may see a PVZ from Patience, very, very good player in that, or we may see a TVZ from either Bunny or Keen. I'm not sure who I anticipate. Maybe one of the Terrans is a safe bet. TVZ is always that very close matchup. Patience very, very good against Terran right now. And also his PvP is always strong with quite aggressive builds. I think the Zergs are certainly is maybe his weakest matchup, although I'm not certain. I'm going to Eligulac it. Patience is one of those players that I feel like is just really, really strong in all the matchups. He had a really good run in the GSL this season as well. Patience. Now we go for the traditional Eligulac loading times where everything takes 15 minutes. How is everyone doing? Tell me about your days. What's new? What's going on in the world of my Africa friends? We are waiting for the next map, guys. Ooh, looks like we may be getting into that now. We will go to our in-game screen. There we are. And it is Patience. So I was wrong. I did anticipate one of the Terrans, but Patience is going to be the player to come out. Ignore the overlay, guys. You can clearly see it's Patience in-game in the top left, in the blue. He is playing for Team soO. So, Team Classic currently at 1-0. soO did take game 1. For now, everything is looking pretty normal in this game. No very, very early pressure. No proxy hatch Bly builds. Nothing very odd. We do see the gateway first. Out of Patience, so no cannon rushes or anything like that either. There is always a possibility you see a delayed one when you see it is a hatch first. I know it's something certain players like to do. It's very, very rare though. I think he will just go for that Nexus now. He may choose to go for the core if he wants to be aggressive, but looking at the money, it will probably be the Nexus. Immediately at 400, put the Nexus down. There we go. Nexus goes down, and now we'll see the core. Behind this it was hatch, gas, and then pool. So very, very standard for soO. soO knowing in this tournament so far he is the man. He can play standard. He seems to be able to impact the game and control the tempo of the games very, very well. So far we've seen him in every matchup now, playing against some of the best players in the world and absolutely smashing it. I've not had the chance to follow too much of the Chinese Pro League. I don't know how he's been performing there, but in this format he's been absolutely spectacular. soO's one of those players who maybe he's always up there, but he hasn't had that big win in a while. Definitely the kind of player who seems to be very good in these all-kill formats, maybe not as good in the preparation style. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe that win's coming. Maybe this is the renaissance, the resurgence of soO, which I'd love to see because he's wicked, actually. We do see the Robo quite quickly coming down from Patience. Slightly unusual. I'm very interested if this is what it could be. How many probes are we seeing? Come on, oh my god, I think it is. I think we're going to see, and I don't know if a lot of the Americans that are here are aware of what the Marjorie build is. So we are seeing a Zealot, which is slightly un-Marjorie-ish. We did see the Stalker first. Now it's very interesting on if he takes any gases and what he does with the probes in the natural. So the Marjorie build is an immortal charge Zealot all in with 8 gates off of 2 bases. And the way to do it perfectly is to fake probes on your natural. You constantly make and cancel probes on your natural. So it looks like you're constantly producing, and the Overlord Scout will see probes constantly producing, but in reality they are... Oh no, okay, so it's not, it is going to be an Archon drop. Ah, oh, come on, Patience. You should have done it. You should have done it. It's become pretty devastating on the EU ladder. It's called the Marjorie build because the player Marjorie beat Lambo with it. The player Marjorie being a relative unknown commodity, and Lambo being Lambo, a WCS finalist. I think Marjorie was like low masters. The build since has taken on a life of its own. It's become similar to the Max Packs build that we love so much. If the Zerg makes like more than 41 workers, he just dies. But instead it is going to be that standard Archon drop with DTs. Lair is done, so Overseers will make this very, very easy. Will stop Patience from just dropping DTs and trying to harass with them. Instead we will probably see them morph straight into Archons. Dark Shrine is finished, so we'll see 2 DTs warp in. We should probably see 2 more very, very soon. These Adepts out on the map as well. Going to try and trade against a couple of these Lings. The Shade is already thrown out. Really, really nice by Patience. Maybe didn't want to let that finish. Did lose a probe. First Archon is morphed in. We should see 2 more DTs very, very shortly. Is he going to choose to go for them? Doesn't look like it. This pylon will survive, and a lot of Lings trade out for this pylon's health. Is this like a 1 Archon drop? Apparently it is. We do have the 3rd base behind this, and Zealot Legs is now started. Slightly confused to just see 1 Archon in this. Well, Archons do so much damage to Overlords. Behind this, Immortal production is coming, and we are seeing that Zealot legs coming in as well. So I think there's definitely a chance we see a very large free base army coming out of Patience. He's certainly building up in a way that insinuates he could be looking to attack. We'll have to see how many more gateways go down. Right now it's just 2. We are seeing sentries as well, which obviously is a very, very big indicator that he wants to get those force fields and those immortals out across the map and be very frustrating. The Archon right now, he can get some good hits off on these lings and these workers, forces that drone pool, very nice. Lost mining time is lost mining time. You can see the immediate impact on that economy of solar. Allows Patience to catch up a little bit, because Patience is only at 48 workers. He has certainly not got too many, and he has stopped producing workers actually, so I do think we're going to see a lot of pressure coming out. You can see how many gateways have just been thrown down in the production tab, and Patience is moving out. He has that warp prism. He's going to get a decent scout. See, there's not that many roaches here actually. +1 is on the way. A lot of roaches still in the main, having to defend from that Archon drop. And I really like this build from Patience. It seems pretty good. He cut 1 Archon in order to get those quicker Immortals. I do think he probably wants to move across the map though. 1 Zealot will swipe this Zergling down. Okay. Posturing a lot actually. Maybe he sees something I don't. Obviously I'm by no means an analytical caster. I just say what I see. I did think Patience maybe had room to get something done there. Solar obviously has a lot of army supply, but it is all roaches and force fields. An Archon and Immortals do a lot of damage to this. But Solar does have a lot actually. This is a very, very big roach army. Solar is playing almost Stefano Heart of the Swarm-esque, where he gets mass roaches, add some Ravagers just to add a little bit of style and a little bit of modern flair to it, and is going to move across with 3 bases, not too many drones. For those that were around in Stefano's era of domination, he'd be maxed like stupidly early on just roaches, and he'd just kill every Protoss. I remember some really, really great games of that style. Stefano at that point was the best player in the world. He made roaches better than anyone else. Now DT's coming in as defensive units, proving to be very, very useful in the natural. Now the bios are very annoying. The warp prism sitting above is providing a lot of information. The DTs have defended a lot of this pressure. Oh, some nice bios there actually. DTs have defended the run by pretty well, and Immortal now joins just to clean the last of it up. And Patience is holding this pretty well. He is catching up in workers. Actually did manage to squeeze a few probes out during this. His +2 is on the way, getting another DT as well. Just getting off pot shots on these roaches, proving to be very, very nice. The 4th is taken for Solar behind this. And Patience is actually going to unpower a lot of these, or cancel a lot of these units, and kill a lot now of these shield batteries. A few of the Immortals are on the high ground, a little bit stuck. Now, Solar, I think, could turn his attention to this 3rd base, and with... he said he's going to go for the weaker side, actually. Very smart play by Solar. Oh, some big biles go down and kill an Immortal immediately. DT's very, very frustrating. Solar having to keep big track here of all of his overseers, keeping them alive, keeping them trading well. Oh, and a couple more big biles. Solar has managed to hit some really, really good biles in this game so far, but his army has actually now completely diminished. It has been cleaned up, and I think Patience will be able to push through here. And the counter-attack from Patience can be very, very scary. He's going to load up 2 Immortals into that warp prism and move across the map, trying to pick off some of these reinforcements. He has a DT in the main. It doesn't have any kills yet. It's just sort of hanging about. There's no... There we go. The DT will now go into the main and start to pick off drones. There are no spore crawlers in this base. This queen may also go down. Is there a spore in the natural? I do not know. The DT instead is going to choose to run away. We do have double Immortal drop as well coming in, proving to be very, very frustrating. Forces a drone pool, kills a queen, a few workers will fall, and Patience is in a really good position. His upgrades are good, his tech is very, very good. It is just Roach Ravager still from Solar. Meanwhile, we've got that Robotech shield upgrades also now coming in as well for our Protoss player. Solar obviously will continue to have a pretty big dominant army, but it is all Roach Ravager, and that does it doesn't scale as well as Patience's army. The more Immortals Patience gets with these charge zealots, he has a very scary force. We can see more Archons warped in pretty much at any time. I think we're up to like 8 or 9 Immortals now, which is huge. The force field's absolutely incredible. Cut this army in half. Fight now coming in. Patience just has so much. I can't see any way this falls. The spread of his Immortals absolutely incredible. The first Immortal will fall down on the left. No, it will survive. These charge zealots providing that great buffer. GG is called, and we go 1-1 in the series as Patience manages to pick up a win. Let me move my webcam down because I'm like sitting with like feet up and stuff. There we go. We'll chill a bit, guys. It is early. Patience manages to pick up that win. Very nice play from him. And takes the series to 1-1. We will now take a look at Team Classic and who could possibly come out. Obviously, that was just one of Team Classic's players. We still have 2 more Zags and Classic himself. Classic himself, one of, obviously, if not the best Protoss in the world. Would be very... I wouldn't be surprised to see him put himself in right now and take that PvP against Patience. Patience, very tricky player, very, very strong player, can move out, you know, with a decent force at any time. But also showed he had the macro chops in that game. Manages to get 9 trillion Immortals onto the field and defend the pressure and counter very, very well. Great game by Patience there. We are going to wait and see what the next player is going to be to go up against Patience. Will it be Classic? Will it be Ragnarok? Or will it be... who's the last one? Impact. No, Impact just played. No, yeah, Impact. Impact in incredible form right now, actually. And I always love watching Impact play. Very, very, very aggressive player. And also an Axiom legend. Part of that Pro League winning Axiom Acer team. He was so young back then. So young. We are waiting for the next game, guys. I hope everyone's having a nice day. I'm really tired. I cast till pretty late last night, and then my dog's been really sick, and he wouldn't sleep at all. Or he couldn't sleep. He was really uncomfortable. So I stayed up all night with him, and now it is 8:30 AM, and I've been awake a lot of hours. 24. Yeah, 24. So I am pretty tired. I apologise, guys. Usually I like to give every cast every bit of energy I have, but every bit of energy I have right now is about 0. If I give every bit of energy, I'll fall over. So we're just gonna have a pretty chill one today. Oh, we are into the next map. Page up, and it is Impact. Very exciting to see. Looks like we will maybe get some aggression coming out. Impact, very, very, I don't want to say cheesy, because he isn't cheesy. I mean, he is, but I don't like to use that word. Certainly the aggressor, certainly likes to dictate the tempo of a game, to stamp his authority, to control the pace of the match. That's how you say cheesy in caster language. Is still going to go for the hatch first. We have typically seen him actually be going pool first, and you can see Patience is going for that early scout. And this is a build after my own heart. Patience is going for the Forge. Now, for those of you who know me on a more personal level, you know I cannon rush a lot. I cannon rush all the time, and there are some great spots on this map. There is an easy 3 pylon wall if you put one there, and then one just to the left. There we go. You can fit a cannon or 3 in here easily. You cancel one of the lower pylons, and you're in such a great spot. I wouldn't be surprised to see Patience immediately commit to cancelling this base. If cannon goes up on the high ground, he'd be in so much trouble. The wall made slightly thinner, slightly less area over it. Oh my god, you can't let anything go up on the high ground. The cannon on the low ground not yet finished. It looks like the high ground will be defended. But this low ground has to be cancelled. This is a very, very... It's not by any means all in, but it's a very, very large commitment towards these cannons. He's now going to use the probe to get that high ground vision. Very, very nice control so far here by Patience, showing he's definitely got it. I'm so surprised we haven't seen the Nexus cancelled. The Nexus should probably not have gone up here. It is going to fall down. Patience put himself in a great position. 8 Lings are on the way. But with this high ground as well, I think Impact might be in trouble. The aggressive player has had the aggression turned on him. He is going to try and counter, but at home there will be a cannon. The wall can go up quite quickly. It's a pretty narrow defense point. We also have these inhibitor zones that are going to slow down these Zerglings. Let they go to almost sentry speed. Now a drone is already here. The wall is thrown up completely. The cannons have now killed that natural base. There are a good few Lings here, and if they can get the cancel and the wall isn't replugged very quickly, this could certainly be good for Impact, but Patience is on the case. He manages to replug his wall straight away. Behind this, his Nexus is up. He's going to have a huge economic advantage. You can see he is already ahead in workers, and that will only continue to grow. We are not seeing any proxy hatches or anything so far by our Zerg player, and I'm really not sure. We're seeing 4 roaches, which is nice, but there's no Nidus. There's no lair even for that Nidus. This won't go up. Oh, no cancel. A little bit of a mistake there. So the cleanup will eventually happen with these roaches from the high ground. The probe thought about it, but decided it wasn't for him. Cybernetic score only just thrown down. These roaches do have the potential to do a little bit of damage here. Nice micro there. Maybe unnecessary, the Ravager egg. One Zealot is out and is actually just trying to fend off these Zerglings. Roaches coming across the map. Now these need to do... Oh, I'm so sorry guys. I only did that. These do need to get some damage done. Impact is behind in workers, which is a position you never want to be in. Sure, his tech is pretty decent. Batteries coming down as well. I can't see any way that Impact is able to make this attack work with 2 batteries, a Stalker, 1 cannon already in position, and another one about to go up. This cannon will actually it will finish as well. Now these units probably don't want to be this far forward. The cannon in the front does fall. The Zealot falls. That's definitely a bit of a mistake. Could have got back to that battery. A bit of miscontrol there from our Protoss player. Now Impact is very good in these scrappy situations. He plays a lot of very aggressive games, and a lot of very aggressive games end in very strange ways. Second Stalker does pop out, takes a lot of damage, but the shields are just being regen by these batteries, and this is all 3 hits he is getting on the Zerg. Now the pylon goes down, so that's a nice little pickup there. For Impact, everything he can get right now is nice. He needs probably to throw down another hatchery pretty quickly if he wants to get back into this economically. Stalkers will start to chase down these Ravagers. The Ravagers are going to turn and fight, being the slower units here. The Bio will eventually allow him to get away. Robo is the choice of tech from our Protoss player here. Patience is going for that Robo. And the more I see this game, the more and more I like Patience's position. He's kept a very healthy work account. His tech is very, very good. He's probably going to look to take his 3rd very soon. Actually going for the Twilight and the Forge before his 3rd, so we may just see a big 2-base push here, although I don't think... Is that a 2nd Forge, or did he lose the one in the front? I'm guessing he lost the one in the front, but I didn't see it go down. Could be a 2nd Forge, maybe. I think that is slightly unusual to go for a 2nd Forge this quick on only 2 bases. These 3 Stalkers proving very, very annoying. Actually, Impact will lose a Queen. Another Queen is going to be forced... Both Queens will be forced to be pulled to defend this. Another Queen may be falling down. The Queens will be able to provide that DPS to keep Impact alive. But there is a Prism coming too. This Prism is seen. And we'll start to warp in a couple of these Stalkers. We also have a Darktron on the way, so we will have Archon drops, I imagine. There is also the possibility of just DT harassment, knowing how far behind Impact is. Impact will likely choose to cut a couple of corners here to try and get back into this game economically. You can see Impact is still down in workers, down 46 to 41. The attack now on the front from Impact. Impact does have a decent army supply. He's up 44 to 16, in fact. The Immortal is close, and with the Prism, this Immortal can micro for a very, very long time. The Gateway does fall, and targeting the Forge could be a very good decision here from Impact. He's going to cancel that +1, which is very, very nice. It's an upgrade that Patience very much wanted. He still has so many Ravagers. These Biles coming in on these newly warped in units. There are a lot of shield batteries here, but units will fall if they're hit by a lot of Biles. The Prism is seeming to be under control. 10 drones on the way for Impact behind all of this. He's going to go up to 53 and now take that advantage. His third base, of course, was very late. There is a DT here, and that should shut down this pressure. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't stop yawning. This is why you should never cast after staying up all night. DTs will come into this third base, actually choosing not to go for the worker kills, instead running into the natural, I believe. Okay, now they are going for that spore. A few workers will start to fall. There is no Overseer. In fact, I don't believe there's a lair. Oh no, the Overseer now popping, so there is a lair. That's good to know. Warp Prism will get out with these DTs alive. Now 2 Immortals are out and push back this attack here. Patience continues to be in a great position. He is now catching up in army supply. His army is very, very good too. Having 2 Archons against mainly Lings and Roaches is going to be absolutely huge. The reinforcement's very, very good. I do think Patience may be able to go for the throat here. We do have a counter-attack by Impact. He's going to need everything at home though. In fact, he does pull back those counter-attacking Lings. The micro potential is almost infinite right now for our Protoss player. He has that Prism. No Zealot legs done yet. I don't know how far off that is. I can't see the production tab. +1 has also just finished for our Protoss player, so Patience does have +1. You can see him microing back these individual units using this Prism. Gonna now start juggling the Immortals, and GG. Patience takes another map and will go up 2-1 for Team soO. Team soO currently leading the series. Very, very nice for them. Team Classic are yet to lose a series in this team league. So that's nice, you know. That's good. It's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. For those of you who have just joined us, I'm Grant. Hello. I'm the English caster for the BJ Destruction Team League. This is day 9 of the event. Day 9. The bracket. I will put the bracket in chat if you were interested in the bracket, if you wanted to see how things have gone so far. Send. Is this going to work? Send. I don't know if I can actually. Alright, well I tried to, but it didn't work. The bracket, if you just type in 2019 BJ Destruction, all separate, you will see it on Liquipedia. Team Classic currently leading this series. Team soO were actually sitting in 4th place. Obviously things are starting to change. The remaining players for Team Classic are Ragnarok and Classic himself. I don't know if Classic is going to save himself for the ace, if we're going to see Storm's Ragnarok come out. I'm a big fan of Ragnarok. He's super, super modest. And he always apologises when he loses to his team. I like that. Or if Classic is now going to bring himself out as the 3rd player on his team. Music getting all epic, building up to this. I hope you're all having a lovely day. If you have just joined, I'll apologise in advance. Usually I'm quite an excitable commentator. But my dog's been very sick, so I've been up all night. It is only 8:47 AM here. We started at 7:45, so I was up at 7. Well, I would usually be up at 7. I did not go to bed last night. I stayed up to make sure my dog's okay until someone woke up to look after him, whilst I did this and got some sleep after. But I hope you enjoy the sort of chill variation of the cast today. We'll say what we see, we'll enjoy it a little bit. Hopefully we'll have a nice time. Oh, this is where the Wings of Liberty soundtrack gets weird, and we skip forward a few minutes. Because it's really hard to cast with that alongside. We are into the next game, and the player that has been brought in... Are we? Ooh, get that full screen. Is Ragnarok. So Psystorm's Ragnarok in the top left in red. His team currently trailing. Ragnarok needs a win here to prevent match point. And Patience in the bottom right has won the last 2 maps. Looking absolutely incredible. With some strong immortal play. I'd expect we'll see very similar in this game. We are going to get that hatch first again from Ragnarok, and we are getting a gate instead of a cannon rush. I'm so sorry. The last game, obviously, Impact was massively thrown off by the fact he got severely cannon rushed on Turbo Cruise. Very, very nice spots for it on that map against Zerg. It's no Marjorie build, but it's still pretty good. So everything is pretty standard. Hatch gas pull from our Zerg player, and we are seeing gate probably into Nexus from Patience. That seems to be what he favours in PvZ. Yep, gate, Nexus, and then we will see the core afterwards, with that first unit being probably a Stalker or an Adept. I don't think Patience chose to scout this game. Maybe knowing what he's likely to be up against. We are seeing that pre-2-minute third base coming out of Ragnarok, alongside probably just 4 lings to get some information. We'll have to see if he does choose to make those lings. Game starting off very standard, just 2 lings. So, very economic start so far for both of these players. You do see the Stalker immediately chrono boosted by Patience. Oh gosh. And the Stargate is the tech of choice. Very, very standard here from Patience. May open Oracle and a couple of Phoenixes to be very, very harassment focused, to try and get some damage done to his opponent whilst getting as much information and taking his third base. We're seeing the Adept as the next unit also coming out of that gateway for Patience, so I imagine we will see him possibly move across the map relatively soon. There are a couple of lings in position to try and get some information, and another Overlord coming down the centre of the map. That second Overlord, which will probably be used to scout the main. Now Ragnarok can see the natural, we can see how many minerals. We do see an Oracle immediately chrono boosted as well. We'll go straight across the map. Oh dear, come on Grant, stop yawning. It's contagious to myself. Guys, I'm so sorry about all the yawns. It's not how I like to cast. I like to be as I don't want to say as professional as I can, because that's very untrue. But I like to give it my best. You know, individual circumstances sometimes prevent things, and I didn't want to not be here for the cast and miss any of the series. Now the Oracle has gone unscouted so far. It is going to head straight to that third. There are a couple of drones on that third. Doesn't seem like too many. Oh, 2 queens. So the 2 queens will immediately fend that off. This Overlord looking like it will go down. It's certainly going to be close. One more step. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it does get out. Maybe a little bit of miscontrol there from Patience. I think he could have got 1 step closer earlier. Is that a second Oracle? That is a second Oracle. So we do have 2 Oracles currently out. This active Creep Tumor. Oh, he doesn't shoot it down. Instead he... Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, will it go down? Yeah. The active Creep Tumor does go down. It is actually cancelled by Ragnarok. Very nice there. Doesn't lose that ability to spread creep coming from the third base south. Very nice by him. Patience now getting his Robo. We'll probably look for his third in the next 30 seconds or so. We are seeing that Twilight and the Forge at the same time as he has been playing previously. Sticking very much to his guns. I think we will see a lot of Immortals. And a sort of defensive style from Patience. He may also try and push out once he gets 3 bases and harass. This Oracle getting very low. 1 hit point. Does manage to get out. Very important to keep his units alive. 3 drones are killed, which is very, very nice. 4 patients. He is only down a couple of workers right now, which isn't by any means a problem. And his 3rd base is now put down at about the 5-minute mark, so it's a good time for him. Ragnarok is now starting to make a few roaches get drones, and we are seeing a very Patience-esque build right now, because we're seeing that Glaives upgrade. Now, Patience, very, very good with Adepts. I've seen him beat Innovation and Maru in the GSL. With this style, it's certainly something he's very good at. We do see that Revelation come down just to keep an eye on a few of these units. Actually, it's mainly drones and queens, so not getting too much there, but he can keep an idea of how many are there. Oracles do see these lings coming in. A few sentries walked in. Actually, these sentries could go down. They're going to be forced to force field to keep themselves alive. 1 will fall. Another couple will survive by the looks of it, but that's frustrating. Now, the Adepts will shade in. I do expect these ones to finish, yep, and they will start to take a couple of these drones. 2 go down immediately. There is the 3rd. 1 of the Adepts does fall. I'm surprised we've not seen him shade out. He didn't instead choose to attempt to do that. The Oracle is actually being used to spread creep, is slightly unusual, but they do to deny creep even, but they're doing a very good job of it. All the creep down that centre has now been slowed down. These 2 Oracles are sharking about, constantly looking for that pickup and to keep the army movement. The 3 Hydras will eventually push them back, so that's very nice. We're seeing a good amount of Hydralisks in production right now for Ragnarok, and we do have the Robotics Bay for Patience, so we will see either those Colossus or those Disruptors being made very shortly. The Glaives upgrade has now finished. I'm not sure how many Adepts we actually have. I don't think there are many on the map right now. Ragnarok is up quite a lot in army supply. Obviously, he does have a lot of Roaches and Hydras. Actually, he has a very scary force right now. Disruptor is on the way, so we're not going to see Colossus. It is going to be Disruptor instead. These Adepts will scout out the 4th base and are immediately cancelled. They will probably eventually get away. We do see more Adepts coming in from the south. There are units in position here. They do give away that they have Glaives. You can tell by the attack and movement speed of the attack. 2 drones go down for those 2 Adepts. Not particularly great, especially when he's invested so much into Adepts. Now we do have Disruptors as well. 2 Oracles are going to come in. These Oracles actually flying dangerously close to the sun, and both go down. That's a very, very huge loss right now for Patience. Ragnarok is starting to move across the map. Now he is going to have to move into Disruptor shots. Those Purification Novas can decimate Hydra forces very quickly, and Roach forces also take a huge amount of DPS from them. But this is a lot of units right now for our Zerg player. Now, the first Purification Nova should be fired out very, very shortly. It still hasn't been fired. Definitely holding it. There we go, it is fired now. You see a few Hydras do go down, but it wasn't a good enough shot. The 2nd Disruptor is finished, but it's not yet fired as far as I can tell. Seems to be holding. 1 of the Disruptors goes down, but this is still very scary. You can see on the south side, these Hydras are starting to pick apart the workers. And the force fields will now fall. Now, I don't know when the next Purification is up. I can't see that spell cooldown right now. There we go. If you see it fires, it picks off a Hydralisk and a Ravager. That was a decent hit. The Disruptor does fall though, and now these Hydras have pretty much free reign on this base. Another one is coming up from the south. 8 workers went down during this exchange, which is pretty good. Ragnarok now up a few workers. We do have 2 Adepts shading in from this east position, and they will probably pick up a couple of workers as well. Only 1, I believe, went down in that trade, so the last of this army will be picked up. Ragnarok obviously still having a very strong army at home, and is in fact going to move out and try and intercept this force from Patience, try and save as many of his units as he can. Doing a great job so far of that. You can see the supply right now. Ragnarok is up 61 army supply, quick maths. And he is moving across the map. You can see that Zerg swarming across the map. He doesn't have much creep, so these units won't arrive too quick, and there are a lot of Disruptors now and a lot of Adepts, so the very quick DPS is available for Patience. I still really like his defensive position. He really can't afford to lose this base, so the base is being targeted down. A very, very big Disruptor Nova kills 5 or 6 units, but the base does fall, and now it's 4 base against the 2. I do think Patience needs to make something happen. He's going to shade on a lot of this army. That is a lot of Adept shades right now. If these Adepts complete though, there's going to be very little left here. Okay, so he doesn't complete a lot of these Adepts. This army down here is probably in a little bit of trouble. We will see another drone or two fall down here at this 4th base location. But Patience is still at 50 supply, and it is all in army supply practically. No, it is a lot of roaches, so it is slightly inflated. And we see a baneling nest and 22 more lings in production. Oh, there is a mortal out of position. One of those immortals does fall down very quickly. That's a nice pickup. The Prism as well, flying forward. This is a very strange push right now. Both players have their army split. One Disruptor does go down. There is no great concave available right now for Ragnarok. He's only now starting to get his units into a better position. Patience, I think, is defending pretty well. He did lose 5 more workers, though. And he has lost a lot this game. Now, a couple of his units will die. The Roaches, I imagine, will just about get out. Or will at least get a lot closer to home. That Ravager didn't have a chance. We are seeing another counter-attack now with Roaches, going to pick off a couple more workers. Ragnarok is making the right steps, you know, he's playing to the right beat right now. He's doing very, very well with these small aggressive pushes. He's not overcommitting at any point. His upgrades are inferior to his Protoss opponent, and now Patience is across the map. There aren't a lot of units here right now. I think Patience possibly looking for a big flank. I mean, Ragnarok possibly looking for a big flank. I don't know where a lot of his units are. He has 20 roaches. There we are. They're all coming in now. We do have that big surround. I wouldn't be surprised maybe to even see a recall. Actually, the force field's very, very good. Are slowing down all of these northern units from getting in on the fight. There are so many adepts dealing so much DPS right now. I'd love to see the production tab to know what Ragnarok is producing. Patience is now up in army supply, and this army is devastating. So many very highly upgraded adepts. The Banelings not getting anything done. The Disruptors as well doing a lot of damage, forcing this army to take in to micro back and not fight. You can see the micro by Patience is very, very good. He has been surrounded almost entirely, but he's microing so well and he has so many units. The Prism finally dies. There are still so many adepts. 18 drones have gone down during this exchange. Patience is still down in supply, and he will be pushed back, and he does GG. He was even on workers. I don't know if that was 100% necessary. Ragnarok does take the series 2-2. These players know a lot better than I, so if Ragnarok leaves, then Ragnarok's probably dead. If Patience leaves, then Patience was probably dead. Guys, I'm going to take a minute to chill out some stuff. As you guys know, my name is Grant. I am the caster here for Alpha. I'm casting the BJ Destruction League on behalf of Alpha. This is not our tournament. This is a tournament hosted by Afrika and Onpoong in Korea, as well as Blizzard. But they've allowed us graciously to cast it. I do want to talk about what Alpha have coming up separately from this, so just indulge me for just 1 minute. We do have, that's my stream that I'm casting from. Where are we? Here we go. If we go back here, we do have the Alpha Pro Series, our regular, almost 1 or 2 a week best of 9 show match, where we have 3 different tiers. We have the Standard, the Premier, and the Elite, where players play for $50, $100, or $200 minimum, including any Matcherino stuff. We have one coming up just later today in 9 hours, just shy of. We have Art versus Aquaron in a standard show match. And then later this week, we have Solar versus TY in one of our Premier matches. I can also tell you we have another one very soon to be announced, which is going to be super, super exciting for this Sunday, I believe. We're only able to do these thanks to our sponsors. So I'm going to take a minute to talk about one of our sponsors. I want to talk about 24-Hour Fitness and give them a huge shout out. For over 30 years, 24-Hour Fitness have been dedicated to helping people achieve their fitness goals. They have 436 locations throughout the United States, and they are fully equipped with weights, cardio machines, personal trainers, studio classes, everything you can ask for in a gym. They're open 24 hours a day, so sweaty nerds like me can go when there's no one around and not be embarrassed by our awful, awful bodies. Guys, if you are in the States, please check out 24-Hour Fitness. They do support us. Being physically fit is so important in StarCraft. So many of these pro players, especially in Europe recently, have really cut down their hours and put more energy into their fitness so they can improve and be better in themselves. Because it helps you retain focus, it helps you play better, it helps you feel better, and that's really important. So guys, please check out 24-Hour Fitness. Thank you for them for supporting Alpha's events. I know you want me to shut up and get into the game, so let's do exactly that. Okay, so it is Keen that has been brought in. There is only the Terran players now remaining for Team Classic. This is 2-2. It is the first player to get 4 kills, so the next team to win will go up to match point. We do have a TVZ, which is something we've not yet had today, which is nice. Keen is opening for that Rax first, for that Rax and Gas, so he is probably going to go for that Reaper Expand, as you'd expect. We do have the Hatchery, Gas, and then the Pool from Ragnarok, so Ragnarok playing also quite standard. Ragnarok has been in incredible ZVT form. He's managed to do extremely well in that matchup recently and carried himself to a quite successful GSL run. I know he's doing very well also in the Chinese Pro League. I regularly speak to his manager. He's a good friend of mine, and I know the type of player Ragnarok is, and I think he's absolutely incredible. One of the best talents out there coming from Korea recently. So I think this will be a really exciting series. Keen, a mainstay in the GSL, one of those players that's been around a while. Always very, very good, but never quite the best. I don't want to say never quite great, because he is great. But never quite, you know, breathtakingly incredible. Not quite Maru, not quite Innovation, not quite TY. Still an incredible player. We'll have to see what the choice of build is for these players. So far, just those 4 lings being made by Ragnarok to defend against this Reaper. He is going to take his third at about the 230 mark, as you would expect. 4 lings are here in position. The Queen is going to pop in the next sort of 10 seconds, and that will stop this Reaper from overcommitting. It is a very good Reaper map. He is able to jump in the main and get that information that he needs. But he doesn't need to do so, because seeing the third base, seeing 4 lings, seeing the Queen gives you all the information you want. We will see probably Reactor Hellions coming out very shortly. There we are, 2 Hellions are in the production tab. And the starport has gone down, so the build very standard so far from Keen. Ragnarok is getting his Zergling speed, he is adding in a lot of Queens. Again, very, very normal. And the game is sort of, yeah, normalising right now. This Reaper continuing to be a nuisance, continuing to get information. It's at about this point he probably wants to try and maybe get into the main or something like that, get a bit more information. He's going to see the hatch as it finishes. He's going to take a few pot shots. I remember when Reapers could kill hatcheries. Those were the days. Mass Reaper hit squads. Wings of Libby. It was incredible in 4v4. It was so much fun. The Hellions now coming across to join these Reapers. We do have the Viking being made from Keen, so he's going to look to kill Overlords and deny any scouting. Now, I don't see this hatchery going down anytime soon. It is taking a decent hit though. You can see, you know, it's losing 6-7 hit points per second. It'll take a while, but you never know. The Viking is now out and is going to go start hunting Overlords. Actually, has missed the Overlords so far. Only now do the Queens rock up and push this back. So Keen manages to be an annoyance. It looks like this Overlord to the west of Keen's main will get picked off with this Viking. We are seeing Stim, so it is going to be Bio. We're not going to see any mech or bio mech play today, or battle mech, as people still have to see. We should see some more racks added very, very shortly. Wait, did he just cancel Stim? I don't think it finished, right? Very, very interesting. We'll have to wait. I do expect we're going to see some more factories thrown down. We're seeing a lot of Hellions in the production tab right now. The Viking as well, continuing to shark about looking for overlords. A lot of these lings are about to go down, actually. The Viking is going to land and start to pick away at these workers. It does do so much DPS to these drones that a couple will probably go down. The Viking is actually going to sacrifice himself to get those 2 drones. Maybe we could have asked for a bit more. We are now going to see those Hellions dropped into the main. And a few also run by into the third. So I'd expect to see a few more drones going down in the not too distant future. 4 already fall. In the main, the Hellions now drop. Oh, this is very, very big. This is a very, very big train. 7 now go down. So this was nice harassment. If you can save these Hellions, you're in a good position. Maybe could have got 1 more shot to pick off 2 more there, but didn't choose to go for it. Actually staying in the main. I think that's unsuspected from yes, continue watching. From the Zerg point of view, sorry guys, I will bring the stream back up. I just, the music stopped. And I thought I may have DC'd for a second. So 11 drones have gone down. We do see a Nidus from Ragnarok. Is it going to be scouted? It looks like the Nidus is probably to the south of that natural. You can see there is a building there. Nothing has been scouted so far. The Hellions are going to unload here between the main and the natural. The Nidus now in the main of Keen. What is here? There is going to be a tank to defend, but only one. Will the Nidus get up? It looks like it is going to finish. It's going to be very, very close as to how many units he can get out, though. A lot of these queens pop immediately and get those transfusers down, and now the units start flying out. The tank needs to be pounced on. We do have some Hellbats, and the tank is going to be repaired. Will the tank go down? The tank does fall, and now there are so many units almost unopposed here from Ragnarok. Keen supply is dropping rapidly. Another Nidus worm coming up to reinforce as well. And as you can see, guys, I think Keen may be in a bit of trouble. GG, Ragnarok takes the map with very, very nice counterplay to this Hellion drop and manages to go match point in the series. I think that was really, really, really sick from Ragnarok there. He did take a good amount of damage, but he saw his moment, and he now takes Classic up to match point against Team soO. Team soO now only have Bunny playing for Team Blazer remaining, so it will be Bunny versus Ragnarok. Now Ragnarok already winning the last CVT, and it was a slightly strange game, so I don't think he really gave away too much either. We will have to wait and see. I'm just checking my phone to make sure my dog is okay. Please ignore me. We are waiting for the last game, guys. I have no more sponsor shilling or anything to do, so we're just going to chill out. Guys, if you have joined later on today, I apologise for the, I don't want to say the lack of excitement in the cast, but the lack of energy. I'm usually quite an energetic caster. It's something I really like to pride myself on. But I was up all night with a very poorly puppy, and certain things, unfortunately, take precedence over sleep. So I chose not to sleep, and then I chose to do this cast anyway. I didn't want to stop you guys from seeing these games today. We've had some really good games so far, especially from the Zergs. The Zerg players looking really, really good. Something it's nice to see. You know, Korean Zergs get a bit more flack compared to the other races. But players like Ragnarok and solar are showing there are some really, really good Korean Zergs that will attack very, very quickly. We are just waiting for the next game, possibly the last game, as Bunny is the final player from Team soO. soO himself came out first and was defeated by Solar. Solar then lost to Patience. Patience then also beat... Wait, I can do this. I can remember this. Patience then also beat Impact with a Cannon Rush. Ragnarok then beat Patience. And Ragnarok beat Keen. Yeah, we did it. Memory. Guys, we are now getting in to the next and possibly final game. In the top left it is Bunny, as we previously said. And in the bottom right, Ragnarok. His team are up match point with one more player sitting in the back. And that player is Classic himself. Very scary for Bunny right now to know he has to beat Ragnarok, who has been in absolutely incredible ZVT form, and then play possibly the best Protoss in the world straight away afterwards. It's definitely an uphill battle for Bunny. Bunny, a player I managed to meet last year at Home Story Cup. He's a good guy. He spent a lot of time on the phone. There you go. That's all I really know about Bunny. He was pleasant. You know, he said hello to everyone. He tried to talk to the English fans as much as he could. But mainly, he was just on the phone. Just really likes being on the phone. Maybe he was just, you know, pretending so he didn't have to talk to me. That's also highly possible. I would pretend to be on the phone to not talk to me. Especially with the state I was in at Home Story Cup. And everyone else was in, to be honest. So, we are having a very normal build so far. Hatch Gas Pool, and then that, by the looks of things, Reaper Expand. Yep, from Bunny. Same openings as last game. The game opening very normally. Going back to Home Story Cup, guys, there is one coming up. If you are in Europe, or even if you're in America and just like to travel, honestly, it's better than it looks on stream. There's no amount of words I can say to describe how much fun a Home Story Cup is. I'll be missing this one, and I'm so sad about it. More sad about it than anything else ever. I know there are a few people watching that are attending, but there's just something. It's magic. Bunny is going to look to slow down that third of Ragnarok, usually taking around the 225, 226 mark. If all is normal, so far it does look like that is going to be the case. You can see he's heading over there now. There is an SCV in the way, which is very annoying. Actually, I quite like this from Ragnarok. He is hiding the drone for a little bit. Maybe trying to throw his opponent off. Right now you're like, why is this late? What's he doing? Okay, he's now going to try and take it. The SCV is in the way though. And they will start. Oh, actually, the SCV is just hold position, did not fight, so the drone does eventually. Oh, actually, not if the Reaper comes to play. We'll probably see a Queen start walking across. There we go. The Queen starts walking across just to help secure this location. The Reaper may take this opportunity to dart in and get a decent scout. We are seeing Zergling speed on the way. Everything is relatively normal. Ragnarok actually was supply blocked there for a moment, but no longer. I think that supply block just came from the fact that he cancelled the depot. We do see an engineering bay block just to slow down this hatchery even further. That's nice. It only costs about 25, 35, something like that minerals. And it was a very slow third hatch. It was almost a minute slower than the one he took last game. And you know, that time adds up. I just took a drink and it was really stale. Oh, it's disgusting. I picked up the wrong one. Okay. So the game is playing out relatively normal. We do have a couple of Hellions, and the Reaper on the map will come up and have a scrap with these Queens. The Queens do win that scrap. Throw down that grenade on the active tumour. Don't manage to get the kill. That's sort of what he is looking to get there. Bunny going to jump in and maybe try and loop around into the main and get a good scout off. There is a Reaper path here, which is very useful. This Reaper doesn't manage to get the scout and will go down. I don't know if he saw the lair there. It would have been quite close. He did. Okay, so he did catch a glimpse of the lair. Does see that lair timing, and that's important. That's worth losing one Reaper for. He also saw that there was no second gas. Puts him in a great position. It is going to be bio from Bunny for certain this time. Stim won't be cancelled if we do have more Raxes being added and double eBays. So we're going to see straight bio, good upgrades, probably alongside tanks. Or possibly Widow Mines. You can see 1-1 immediately beginning now for our Terran player. Baneling Nest is thrown down, and then Spore Crawler's actually thrown down for our Zerg. So I'm guessing Ragnarok is playing a little bit blind here, maybe scared of Banshees or something along those lines. There is nothing coming his way anytime soon. Now the Overseer will get in and see that this is bio, and it is very standard, and there is no shenanigans coming his way. This Overseer will not make it out, unfortunately. Sees a double eBays. That's a bit of a... that is a nice tell. The third TC as well, just as it's finishing, gets all that information that he needs. We should just see a lot of drones now coming out. 1-1 upgrades as well from Ragnarok. Bunny's certainly put himself in a decent position. He's managed to get his economy to a healthy position very early. He managed to slow down the economy of Ragnarok just that bit. Now Ragnarok obviously does have that drone advantage, but when you take mules and things into consideration, and the third base only just going down for Bunny, it's still a very close game. You can see that money being earned for both very similar mineral count. Ragnarok slightly ahead as you'd expect, but those more efficient, very good AoE units being produced by Bunny. Bunny also opting for a couple of missile turrets. He does now scan the main and see that it is going to be Hydras. And immediately we see that 16 Marine drop loaded up. I do think there's a possibility this gets scouted. There are lings spread across the map looking to catch anything like this. The creep spread also is very good. So far it looks like it has gone unscouted. He is going to unload and actually just use these to clear the creep alongside a scan. May try and run in at this fourth base to get these queens. Scan goes down. Lots of lings here. will force the pickup. No Marines go down in the making of this push. And the creep is slowed right down for a little bit. Now the spores will be useful for stopping these drops from committing too heavily. He can't drop right in the mineral line or anything like that. There is going to be a Hellion run by. No, there's not. Just kidding. I don't think Bunny realises that he can't run through there. It does catch a couple of lings, so these Hellions still proving to have some worth. Bunny out on the map with a couple more medevacs right now. This time going straight down the middle. We also have these medevacs to the north. There are banelings here. Bunny only losing one Marine. Very, very nice control there. Also now has a very, very strong push pushing through the middle. Forcing a very, very important split right now from Ragnarok. Ragnarok needs to hold both of these locations. The medevac actually very out of position. A lot of these units will go down before they can be picked up. You see half of that supply was immediately cut out. Now, there's not too much here in this north position. These lings are trying to run around as quick as possible. All these active tumours and these older ones will go down. There are still some active tumours close, so it's not by any means the end of this creep spread, but it's definitely slowed down this northern location. And creep down the centre is also a little bit unappealing, we'll say. So, Bunny's doing a great job of denying that creep. He is getting tanks behind this, Marines, Marauders. He's getting 2-2. Both these players keeping up with their upgrades. We have a very standard ZVT game so far. Now this drop has managed to get past a lot of the army. I think we'll see it unload here into the main. The Ling's now coming back. The Hive is on the way, and that's a very, very important scout right now for Bunny. He does also find a decent position to trade very well against all of these Zerglings. Alongside this, he is also attacking in the third base and will manage to pick up probably a few drones here. He does have a Hellbat and a couple of Marines. Picks up a couple of drones. Both of these are eventually cleaned up. These medevacs really don't want to die, and it looks like both of them will. Yeah, both of those medevacs do go down. So very nice cleanup there by Ragnarok. Ragnarok's really taken very little damage this game. You can see he's only lost 2 drones. Sure, he's lost a good amount of lings and a couple of queens and a lot of creep tumors, but no substantial damage has been done. Bunny's done a great job of keeping creep back. It's not hit the middle of the map, which is really, really good for him. But Ragnarok, I really like his position. His Hive's a good time. His Spire is almost done. He has a very, very strong Ling, Bane, Hydra army. His worker count, he is up to 88, which is a very healthy number. His 2-2 is at the exact same time as his opponent. Both of these players looking around, seeing if they can find any units for free. This is a very difficult position to push into, obviously. You can see there are a lot of tanks here. Ragnarok's starting to try and open up the map a little bit. And the Greater Spire has begun, so we'll see Corrupt is added as well to this force shortly. Broodlords are going to be the choice. Now, there are no Vikings out yet. I imagine Bunny is very much aware of what is happening. He has also got that double drop as heading towards the third or main base location. He did see the Hive timing, so he knows to be prepared for some of these Hive units. A lot of these Lings do get picked off here. Ragnarok maybe not wanting to lose them, but he did have to trade a few out in order to get some Corruptors. The drop in the main is actually this time looking like it's going to find its mark. A few of these units out of position. This is so many tanks, and they're in a very, very scary position right now, actually. The drop is eventually dealt with in the main, but it will just shuttle down over to the third base. This will now be cleaned up, I imagine. The army is being forced to split very, very well. You can see all the tanks are slowly moving forward. Okay, now the drop is completely dealt with. The medevacs will go down. Just kidding. The medevacs will... Oh, that Spore is the MVP. Manages to pick up 2 medevac kills. These tanks are spread very, very well. 6 Broodlords are on the way, though, and those make for a very scary timing for Bunny. Bunny doesn't have Vikings. He has a lot of bio, which is obviously very, very good. These tanks may be a little bit out of position, actually. A few will get pounced on immediately. They do survive. They were 1 volley away from losing 3 more tanks there. But right now, what is going to be the answer to the Broodlords? You can see the Broodlords are marauding over. They are throwing out those Broodlings. And Bunny is going to be forced to retreat from this position. He is adding his Ghost Academy now. His upgrade's obviously still very good, but so much of this army is going to get picked away here. You can see the Lings and the Broodlings chasing. Tanks will be saved as much as possible. A lot of these Marines are going to get chewed up by all of these Lings. Another drop coming in from Bunny is going to try and get Ragnarok, but Ragnarok in such a great position to defend it. He has so many Speedlings. He is now getting Adrenal Lands to clean up these pushes and these drops a little bit quicker. These Zerglings will become Cracklings, and everyone knows how scary they are. Broodlords actually hitting before any of these missile turrets can go up will be very, very annoying. They have this very nice position over the rocks here. They're picking up units for free. Ghosts are being added. There are 3 out already, and those snipes can be very important. I don't know what Ragnarok's decision is from here. Actually, his decision is to press A and click behind all of these units. A lot of these tanks will fall down. There are still so many Hydras left. The supply is taking a pretty big dip right now for Bunny. It does look like Ragnarok's going to push through. This planetary is going to have to be abandoned. It will go down, picking off a lot of these units on the way, but it's not going to be enough to hold. A Banshee, Viking is now out and will start to tickle away at these Broodlords, but there's only 2. And GG is called as Ragnarok takes it 4-2 for Team Classic, takes the series, and Team Classic will go through undefeated in this season. They are now up 4-0 with a map score of 16-6, absolutely huge. Team soO are now 1-3, the same as Team Deer, with a map score of 10 and 15, actually dead equal with Team Deer. So I think that then goes to head-to-head, in which Team soO beat Team Deer 4-3. So it could possibly be that our final 4, still depending, we still have Maru and Hero to play tomorrow. If Team Maru gets 4-0'd, they will be the team eliminated. Team Hero looking pretty safe to go through no matter what. Guys, that is all we have time for today. That is all of the games today. Team Classic has managed to win. In a very, very nice 4-2 with some incredible Zerg play. We do return. When do we return? Good if I know. We return on June the 6th. That's my dad's birthday. At 1 PM BST. That's my time. So 2 PM CEST. And later that day KST. I think it's 9 or 10 PM KST. I'm not very good with these times. I'm sorry. I think it's 9. So I will see you then. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I apologise again. It's been a long night and a long day for me so far. I'll see you later this week for plenty of action on this channel. Later today there is Aquaron versus Art, an Alpha Pro Series show match on this channel. That's in about 8.5 hours, so guys stick around for that. Don't stick around for that, don't just sit here waiting. But if you're in EU, make sure to check that out. That'll be a lot of fun. It'll be on Team Liquid later today. My name's Grant. You can see my Twitter below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.